Hello everyone, welcome back. It is time. Game 5, Splyce versus G2. Who will survive to face Sjokz tomorrow? That is the question on everyone's mind. And luckily for you, we're here to find an answer. Of course, everything comes down to this, Deficio.
Slow versus fast, aggressive against passive, Heimerdinger against traditional AD carries. There's a lot of things to look at in this draft here, because we have seen now the first pick Olaf into very strong silence. We already see a change. Swain is not banned by Splyce.
First.
They banned it every game so far. I have to assume they're changing it up. There's no reason to change the order right now. Olaf, is that going to be a ban?
Can find out. Of course, Olaf was an incredible pick in the hands of Jankos. Rakan remains the ban on the side of Splyce. Only the Swain ban has been dropped thus far. Trundle also being banned. G2 don't see any reason to change their strategy coming in.
Okay, last ban. What's going to be? It's not going to be the Swain now after the order is changed. It is the Swain. Why would you change the order then? All right, they wanted to obviously see what G2 were banning on their side to see if anything.
You're so eager for something to change.
I thought they were going to ban the Olaf, but they gave Olaf. They stole the Tahm Kench. We got to change.
Okay.
And the Ryze.
And the Ryze. The priority completely changing.
kaSing is laughing for some reason. This is game 5, mate. Lucian, you're out.
I waved at him. He waved back. He seems like he's in a good mood. Don't know why he's laughing. We're going to find out shortly.
Because he's playing his Tahm Kench again. Oh, what do we get now? G2, what do you do? Your Tahm Kench is gone. Alistar, so we get engaged from Wadid. Did not work in the first game of the series quite some hours ago, but it didn't work for them. The Ryze takeaway is smart though. Of course, you gotta do it,
gotta lock it in. The chain CC potential on the bottom side of the map, the Alistar plus Heimer combo, if kaSing is not there, is crazy. But if kaSing is there, very difficult for them to make this combo happen. See what Splyce want to round out their first pick phase with. I feel like the AD carry pool could get pinched if they don't lock something in now.
So Varus is here if they want to play Varus plus Tahm Kench. It was the combination they used yesterday in so many of the games. It was very successful in the early laning phase. But they're going for Jhin against the Heimerdinger instead. They got grenades versus the turrets on their side. So a lot of changes suddenly from Splyce, except for that Swain ban that's still there.
Can't let it go, can you? Aurelia also going to be banned away, though. Do not want to put Perkz on one of those champions. Akali already banned, so they're not quite as worried as they once were.
They are killing a lot of the solo laners that Perkz can try and snowball on. Ryze gone, Aurelia gone, and
Swain gone.
Swain, Akali gone as well. Okay, no jungler shown by Xerxe, but there's a Skarner available in this draft.
And interesting that despite kind of mixed success with the Gragas, they do ban it away. They do really want to make sure.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, Skarner ban would make sense, unless G2 like, we just want to play Olaf against Skarner no matter what, because that is a good matchup.
Splyce is in a tough spot here. Do they take away the Aatrox one more time? LeBlanc's still up and available for Perkz in theory. Not a fantastic matchup, but they are going to ban the Aatrox
open then. You just said it, man. Aatrox is here. We already know that the Ryze can go 2 lanes. We saw top lane Ryze in the last one, so it's not a guarantee yet where it's going. Jungle pick here would make sense, and then save last pick for Nisqy or Odoamne, depending on who gets to play the Ryze. And Skarner is still here. He is a Kayn player. He's done it before. It might not be... Okay, it's Skarner.
For those who don't know, I didn't say anything or get excited. I'm a Kayn one trick, and I got really excited for 5 seconds. I'm a little disappointed, but Skarner also...
I mean, it makes sense in the context of the
still
series.
has a 100% win rate, because last game, it just wasn't picked.
Oh, he's lost the game. It lost game 3.
That's right.
When G2 had it. Wunder top lane. Aatrox, Urgot, both available for him. He will have to blind pick it right now. If it is Urgot, you could put the Ryze top against it for Odoamne, unless they want to keep him on tanks.
And my Perkz on Malzahar duty. All the eggs in the Hjärnan basket. And the Wunder, this is huge.
Will Nisqy pick like a long-range mid lane and then put the Ryze top? Because I think they're looking at the Ryze in mid and saying, okay, we want Malzahar against Ryze specifically. Splyce could do it if they want to play Ryze top lane in this draft here.
Could look for it. Zillion very nice against the Olaf. Speed up the area they're trying to pick. Maokai going, Sion in the end actually going to the top side against the Urgot, looking for someone with a little bit more engage potential, it looks like.
Okay. I thought there was a chance of some shenanigans here, but Splyce made it very clear they want to play tanks top lane. I'm not really buying this little, you know, setup now where the Sion is mid on their side. But if it is as expected with Sion top, obviously Sion is probably the strongest tank in lane, which is what you want against the Urgot. But that bot lane with Tahm Kench, Heimer against each other is gonna be super interesting. We actually jumped out of it right now to the players. I'm just gonna see if there's a swap going on. Odoamne has picked up the Sion now, and it is Ryze mid lane for Nisqy.
Trying to bait that last second nullifying orb, potentially. Deficio. Last time Perkz played this Malzahar was 2016. He's 3-0 all-time on the champion.
And last time he played it, I assume his bot lane was Sven and Mythic.
I
just say
would
yes.
also assume so, yes.
At this point.
Yes.
And that is suddenly a bot lane you know will be a huge threat in the late game, so Malzahar combined with that is a great setup. Now to Heimerdinger in the bottom lane.
All right, Deficio. Well, Medic is backstage to get Splyce's strategic coach Duke's take on this series-deciding match.
Thank you very much, Jankos. And I am joined by Duke. Now, Duke, game 5 of a series, you went for a more traditional Splyce draft with, you know, tanking the top lane, a bit of scaling on the rest of the map. How do you think you're going to take down G2 in this game?
Well, we lost last game because we had a pretty bad draft this time with like not enough early game pressure, and then they want us to death with good cross mat with Tahm Kench. So we wanted to remove the tools that they had to win this game. Go for the Ryze early, go for the Tahm Kench early, and then we can go for a more comfort pick. They don't have the Tahm Kench to protect the Heimerdinger that we were expecting, and then they go for a Malzahar counter pick that we have Tahm Kench into it, so we should be fine.
So do you think that you're actually going to be able to delay that early game? Because they still seem to have a lot of strength with the Heimerdinger, with the Urgot as well.
Yeah, they have good early game, but we have maybe more tools to contest. And then on side lane, we should be winning in the mid game, and I think team fight too because of the AD carry.
Well, good luck. It's your second game 5 in 2 days. We're going to hand it back across to the casters.
Thank you very much, Medic. Game 5 here, G2 and Splyce. Everything on the line for both of these teams. Splyce trying to take away what made G2 so comfortable in the previous game, and of course relying once again on Kobbe in the late game to come through as that AD carry to help carry the team.
Yeah, and obviously the 1-3-1 setup with Tahm Kench, as Duke mentioned, is fantastic and what we highlighted during the game. But obviously the biggest thing for G2 was the fact they could snowball early with Olaf. That tool is still there for Jankos. If he's proactive in this early game here, I don't think Xerxe can fully match him, especially not at level 6 if they do find each other in a 1v1. But before that happens, I think that the Jhin bot lane again against Heimer is really smart, because it's going to be way harder for Hjärnan to actually push as much as he did in the last game.
Very difficult overall, and of course Alistar going to have a hard time engaging with the Tahm Kench there to deny any access. A little bit more respect will need to be paid to Xerxe this game as well. Skarner has been key for teams to find the lead, but Jankos, of course, on the Olaf, as you already mentioned, equally as important. But I feel like always in this series, we have to keep our eyes on the jungler, because the jungler that's had more early game impact, whether it's Xerxe denying plays or Jankos finding those aggressive moves, has really set up the team for success.
And both junglers have been performing right here. It's not been like a one-sided matchup between Xerxe and Jankos. We're really stepping up when it matters. Now, I'm looking at Jankos' early game with the Olaf. He most likely will just farm until he gets his boots, gets Predator. But gank-wise, like top lane, there is an opening with the Urgot who can actually then knock back the Sion. Otherwise, mid, you want to wait for level 6, and you don't really want to gank your Heimerdinger lane. So, Jankos is not sitting with the same amount of options, at least until we get the Malzahar ulti. Then you can obviously go mid for a pretty free kill. Well, on the side of Splyce, there's a bit more setup.
But of course, in the previous game, Jankos had a lot more options, as you mentioned. So maybe we're not expecting the same level of K plus 8 at 15. Maybe he will spend the same amount of time around his laners at 48.3, massive amount of jungle proximity. But Xerxe not nearly as scared as he was in the previous game, but willing to invade the jungle and take away some of these camps.
Yeah, smart little play here. He starts top side, red buff, Raptor camp, goes bot lane, gets the Rift Scuttler, and then takes away enemy Raptor while Jankos was doing the Rift Scuttler up there and doesn't get anything back. So Xerxe effectively steals away a camp in the early game and will still get everything else on his side. And he's around bottom side in case an early gank should happen.
And we're going to have to see Splyce G2. I mean, both of these guys make it to game 5. And now we want to know what you guys at home think. You can, in your chat, spam G2 or SPY, depending on who you believe in, who is going to make it to face Sjokz tomorrow, who is going to make it to round 3. That's what we want to know. How many G2 fans are out there? How many Splyce fans are out there? Is it going to be, what is it, fast-paced or slow and steady? That's what we're going to have to find out.
Is it Heimerdinger or traditional AD carries?
Oh, battle for the ages.
Hjärnan. Oh, gets a bit of poke. Sadly, the turret did not actually hit Kobbe right after that. Obviously, the thing about Heimerdinger is when you land that ability, you get that extra damage from the turret on the beam that's otherwise on such a long charge-up time, and that is way more damage in the early game than people expect.
The G2 army out in force after last game. They're
Give it time, give it time. This is also a lot right now spamming G2.
People believe, man. Those jerseys are sold out. There's a lot of G2 faithful out there in the world.
I mean, it's true. And again, a lot of people expect the G2 organization to fight all the way towards the 3rd round and potentially get the spot towards Worlds. Again, Sjokz is waiting tomorrow in that final game, and they are many people's favorites to make it to Worlds, seeing as they have been able to watch 10 games of Splyce. If they make it, they've shown everything.
Or 5 games of G2. A lot has been laid down by both. I mean, the Heimerdinger has come out. We have to assume that that was the last trick in the bag of tricks from G2. That's a pretty good one. Have to hope that it carries them through here in Game 5. You saw a G2 favored vote just slightly there at the end. Splyce fans are also doing their best to match here across the board.
And again, it shows really how close the series has actually been. And if you ask me in 20 minutes, if it's dead even, I start going more and more towards Splyce, saying, okay, this is where they're going to do well, because G2 will make mistakes in the late game. They do overextend, and if they don't get that 1-3-1 lead they had in the last game, they don't look as clean. But I gotta say, when they get the advantage, like the last one, that was some good macro. They were so quick around the map. It was almost a perfect game they played.
Oh, the Scuttle? Oh, Scuttle. I always forget the Scuttle just doesn't reset.
Yeah.
Go. Just take him away.
Dumb.
Well played by kaSing. And actually the jungle lead here just continues to grow for Xerxe. He's going to get level 6 well ahead of the Olaf at this point in the game.
And as we mentioned, there's not really a lane for Jankos to gank, or maybe top lane. So it's been a much slower early game on his side. You will find Xerxe in here, who's killing his control ward. But he's not able to gank anything. Perkz level 6. It's here now. So be careful, Xerxe. If you go towards the mid lane, you most likely will die in a 2v2.
Question becomes, level 6s in the solo lanes, as you mentioned. Olaf level 6 on the horizon. Who actually makes the first move here? Will Xerxe use this Skarner to try to shut down the opposition? Perkz continuing to just kind of threaten on the back, but doesn't actually have any abilities to deny Ryze from backing.
Yeah, I think the first move is G2. It's around the solo lanes. They're pushing top lane with the Urgot. They have kill pressure, ignite, ulti on Odoamne. We just need Jankos or Perkz to go to that lane, and they can either force Odoamne back or just straight up kill him. But right now, Jankos is just going back. He's going to get full mana. So this is level 6 also here now. So we get some big, big moments. Didn't actually skill his ulti yet. Assume he's going to do it soon.
Interestingly enough, actually giving up a wave on the bottom side for Splyce, so they are still succumbing to this early game Heimerdinger pressure. Of course, Kobbe with no TP means that Hjärnan just retains control over the bottom side. Lost Chapter also coming through is huge, as it means he can pretty much sustain this push indefinitely.
But the goal for Kobbe is just like kill the turrets every time with grenades, keep the wave at your turret, but don't allow the Heimerdinger to actually hit it. And then just wait, just keep scaling on the Jhin here. Perkz now, we talked about this around top side. This is the play we want to see, because there's a real opportunity that it can actually kill Odoamne, but Xerxe is reading it. Nisqy's here too.
Nisqy has to be careful, though. He's the one who's isolated. Xerxe now coming in.
Oh, the ulti!
Now Perkz suppressed and knocked up. Is it going to be enough damage to lock this one up? Perkz now trying to get out of there. Is going to try to lay down a little bit more damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Now pulling back. Disaster strikes for G2. Jankos flashing out to safety. Nisqy, is he going to burn a flash as well? But there's a fight on the bottom side. Kobbe could be in trouble. That heal is coming in clutch here. They want to take out Wadid, and they're going to get 1. Can they get 2? Level 6 comes in from Hjärnan. The Mega Turret down. kaSing now in trouble.
Oh, but he's missing it!
Pulling back. He has this zone of control. As long as they don't go near this tower, they're probably fine on the side of Splyce. Can he get a little bit more? But Jankos is coming down.
Oh, but Jankos is low!
Healing up. This
Missiles.
might be enough. He uses the ult. He's going in this one. That's 2. Fire back.
What a start to the game. Top lane, it's a kill on to Perkz. He didn't get to do anything. Great answer from Splyce towards the aggressive move near the top lane. But bot lane, 2v2 fights. First, it's Splyce getting the kill, but in the big turret, they can't get close, and Jankos gets to run down and actually kill them. Ooh, Xerxe stayed too long.
Perkz still has ult. Point click him. Where's it going to be? Or did it get canceled? No, he still has it. He doesn't use it.
What?
Must.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Our button didn't work. Our button didn't work.
Did he accidentally push T? That's what we'll find out shortly, folks. Game 5, pause, bit of an awkward scenario. We will get the official. Could be something else as well, but we're kind of suspecting that it's the R button.
It feels like it could only be one thing right there, but of course we're going to wait. And here, holy moly, I did not expect, first of all, that we were going to get 2v2 kills.
No.
In this series. That's already crazy. But it happened.
So I have a pitch for you. We're all sitting here talking about Splyce, take it slow, take it late game. What if Splyce backstage said, you know what? Let's just fight him. Let's just go. Let's just match him 2v2. Let's just kill him.
I mean, Xerxe read the situation when he was topside. Again, I said this early in the series, and I think he's really good at doing this. Like, he kind of knows when the enemy team wants to go for the play near his top laner, and then he recalls and he goes top lane straight away from base. And he was sitting there waiting for this. And after G2 didn't fully commit early because they couldn't to the tower dive, Perkz just got caught out, and he died very quickly. Nisqy also ulting in, so that was great from Splyce. And also to kill bot side, but sadly for them, because they couldn't get near the turret, they couldn't get back to their own tower and had to run up the river where this random Olaf, who's been fighting top lane, has run from top to bot.
Think about how many things had to come together to make that play happen. Those series of plays. That level 6 perfectly coming through from Hjärnan as creeps die mid-fight. Actually, I wonder if Wadid hadn't died and that creep died, would he have gotten level 6? Or did because he had split the XP or didn't have to split the XP, did he get level 6?
Well, Kobbe still got the kill down bot lane. He's on BF sword, but he's down 15 CS at the moment. But in mid lane, Nisqy is almost 15 CS ahead of Perkz. So the lanes are kind of trading who's actually ahead. It's Kobbe behind bot side, but Nisqy ahead in the mid lane. And obviously right here before the pause, we thought there was a free kill for G2. Perkz was sitting right in front of a Skarner. Skarner had no flash, but ulti didn't actually show up. So we have to wait and see exactly what happened for Perkz, but pause came in instantly after.
Yeah, interesting. League officials are investigating. It is a game bug. So we will find out. We'll give you more context shortly once we know exactly what is going down, exactly what the league officials are investigating. Don't want to speculate too much. We can obviously say, hey, we're pretty sure it's Malzahar ult, but until anything is actually confirmed, we don't want you guys to be like, ooh. All right, it is a bug on Malzahar's ultimate, confirming 100%. It's what league ops are investigating right now. Watching back, checking, investigating, seeing what's going on. Medius and Vedius are back there right now.
Well, then we're definitely not going to solve the case. Well, for this game here, the fact that Splyce actually managed to now get off to a good start is really huge in the context of the entire series. Game 2 and Game 4 were so heavily in G2's favor, and it all started with early game snowballing. And then they simply just like, they finished the game too quick. Splyce end up losing every single lane, and they have to try and stall past 30 minutes, and they never get there in time, and then the game is over. Especially the last one was super, super one-sided. So the fact that picking up early kills here is a massive deal for the team, because they have shown to be the better late-game team in this series.
Well, Deficio, as league officials investigate, we are going to toss it back to Sjokz in the analyst desk for a little bit more.
Thank you very much, guys. I know no one is more disappointed than us as well that there is a bug in this really instrumental Game 5 and that there is a pause or a possible bug, rather. But we need to get to the bottom of this to make sure that we get to the right result. And this is why we are taking a little bit of an extended pause. Viewer-wise, it was entertaining to watch in the beginning. Both teams going in guns blazing.
Yes, looked like the Splyce had their eyes set more towards the top side of the map, whereas we saw from G2, they were just like, we need to get kills bot, we need to get Hjärnan ahead, and fortunately, it seems like the game state is still relatively close, and that situation is very important, because it looked like Perkz wanted to lock down that ultimate.
Yes.
A lot of question marks around why he didn't, and if it was due to a bug, then we have to make sure that all of that gets ironed out.
I believe we're getting an update really soon, so we're going to find out what the league officials have established. However, the fact that this was very back and forth in the beginning, what is the expectation for the rest of the game then?
I think the game I felt was really tense up till this point. I think both sides really wanted, and I think everybody can feel that as well. It was really exploding starting level 6 from Skarner. Nothing was happening, and then suddenly fight topside and bot side at the same time. And everyone is just looking for opportunities. I think we were going to see that more. I think both teams are going to fight here with nothing holding back. And before, I was always afraid that they were like second-guessing themselves. But now I really think, yeah, now they're going forward.
I am... How do I say this? I don't want to say scared, but I do want to say that the fact that they did put Perkz on Malzahar rather than a big playmaker is something that I'm curious as to how well that will work out in this following
We
game.
will see. We did get an update. G2 paused the game, reporting issues at Malzahar's ultimate not hitting the target. After reviewing the shadow play, league officials confirmed that there was no issue. We will be resuming the game where we left off. So casters, let's continue this epic Game 5.
Alrighty, there we go. Getting back into game shortly here, ladies and gentlemen. Bit of a shame there for Perkz. Feels like if he had connected that ult, it would have been a guaranteed kill for G2. In fact, just about no doubt, short of a miraculous escape from Xerxe. However, Now that we've confirmed the issue, maybe Perkz was just not quite in range. Maybe it was a little bit of a misclick. But, of course, as we pursue in the game, one missed opportunity is not going to cost G2 too much in the end. And the Malzahar ulti, of course, because it was not used, is still available if they want to make another play on it. We are now heading back to the game. And as a reminder, after that brief pause, it is Game 5. It is G2 versus Splyce. The winner will face Sjokz. The loser will go home and sit home until 2019.
So, this is what happened just before the pause with all the replays. Perkz and Jankos actually started to walk away from top, but that's when Xerxe and Odoamne catches them, and Nisqy's kind of cutting off the escape towards the bottom side. So I really like this play from Splyce, but while this is happening, and Jankos does manage to stay alive, bot lane we had instant 2v2 fight. See the early setup. All in from Wadid. Turret comes down, but Hjärnan can't actually get enough damage on them, and Wadid just takes so much damage in return.
Fighting the creep wave, though, interesting. I think in the end is the thing that really decides it for Hjärnan. Buys him a bit of time, gets level 6. Now you have to wonder,
everything.
Could he have empowered the rockets? Could he have empowered the grenades there to snag a kill? But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because luckily for him, here comes Olaf. And I love this play from Jankos, the use of the ultimate to stop the slow from the fruit. Just glorious.
Yeah, and I think Hjärnan's call was just like, I need to stay alive until Jankos is here. He's on his way down. Oh, this one slows them down. What did? No flash, cannot get in range. More fighting though, like instantly we're back. And we get more trading.
All right, now checking in. Pressure goes down. Xerxe passing off the blue buff to Nisqy. Jankos will just keep the pressure up as he tries to find a way into the jungle. Of course, Perkz, as long as he has that ultimate up, is just constantly threatening pressure in the mid lane. You can see the Null Magic Mantle coming out on the side of Nisqy. Now, that could be the Merc Treads, but it could also be the Malzahar Tax, that QSS that you pretty much have to buy. Both teams actually in an interesting position because you have two champions with suppression. How much money will be spent on QSSs this game? That is one of many questions yet to be answered.
That is very true. Nisqy is hovering around bottom side with ulti available in just a few seconds. Kind of looking at, okay, if you are Splyce, snowballing bot lane is going to be easier for you to do. But if you are G2, top side is going to be easier. So you can effectively swap the map. Poor Odoamne might be left on his own, and Perkz and Jankos can just go top again and try and force him off this turret or kill him.
Ignite is available. Jankos has the Predator. There is no vision. They can go for the dive, but members are looking to rotate. Nisqy has the ultimate. Xerxe can come to contest.
And this is the second time now where the move top is being made by G2, and Splyce, instead of going bot, they react by going top as well.
Flash trying to get the engage. Get the setup immediately. The Malzahar comes out, deleted, but not quite. Denied, dies inside the belly, and kaSing is going to have to give up his life as well. Chasing him down. G2 with a double kill. Hjärnan looking for the solo kill. Give him the wrench! Give him the wrench! No! Rocket's going to take it in the end. 5-2. Wunder now trying to get a kill on top side as well. Splyce desperate to stop the bleeding right there.
Oh my god, G2 just picked up 3 kills, and this is what happens when you're trying to react to the aggressive play from the other team by going up to defend after you've already lost control of the map. If you look at the minimap right now, it's all blue wards top side. Splyce have almost no vision. So when they go top after G2 already moved, they don't know where they are. They could be in the jungle, they could be in the river, and then you end up face checking. We're not done yet, more fighting.
So they're now trying to get something else done. They have the ultimate available for Urgot. This could be disaster. It is going to get fired in. The slow increases, health gets lower. Tahm Kench is here. kaSing says no. Splyce ready now to slow down the game. 5-2 the kill score. It is scary to look at, but the goal difference only 1,000.
But look at this here. Because they're trying to go top to defend, they don't know what's happening in the river. They face check Malzahar, Alistar, and Olaf. There's no way you can win this as Splyce. And this is why most teams, when they see the enemy team go top, they go bot instead. They trade the map. But not this time here. They actually wanted to try and do something. Grenade comes in, slows Kobbe. It's the ulti one, and he cannot win this 1v1. Jhin, sadly for himself, sits without mana. And Hjärnan
spreads it too. There's just no way you can dodge. Airy proc is there too.
Dude, this guy in Heimerdinger, in this series, 4 worlds, he ignores the AD carry speed he's been playing for weeks and weeks and weeks. And he says, you know what? Mage meta, it's still here.
Gotta love the commitment. For Splyce, though, not too far behind. Getting this Rift Child could put them back in control, but G2 are ready for a fight, ready to get kicked off. Perkz' ult is not available. That is going to be crucial. Kobbe's is. They could get the fight started with the curtain call. They may just have to use it here. TP now comes out. Silences across the board as Perkz starts to get fired off. kaSing now in trouble, though. He's getting chased down. The exhaust has already been burned. Jankos hunting for that prey, but they're just going to back off. Suppression comes down on the bottom side. Odoamne's been deleted. The Perkz all comes up just in time, and they've got their eyes on the Herald. Can they get it? Can Kobbe steal it away? Do manage to get it, but that's not the biggest issue because G2 are now looking to clear up the fight. G2 are looking to get a couple more kills under their belt. Wadid keeps it going. The QSS, the cleanse, not enough from Ryze in the end. Kobbe running.
Oh, he gets the stun!
Now, can he get it? The stun does connect. kaSing is going to get taken out in the end. Double kill for G2. Immediate 2K gold lead. Herald to back it up. They get everything.
Splyce are trying in Game 5 to actually fight against G2 in the first 20 minutes, and it's not working. G2 Esports have full control top side of the map. They take the big team fight around the Herald, and all of Splyce are completely split. 2 members top side, 3 members bot, and they just got picked off left and right. There's a reason why G2 do well when it's a fast early game, and we're seeing it here. Splyce are trying to match them. But that's not their game. It's not their style. Look at this. Look how split they are. 2 members top, 3 bot side. They can never get in range of Wadid or Perkz before Odoamne oversteps and gets ulted. Barely any damage has actually been returned onto G2, and the dual lane from Splyce have been zoned away. Ulti gets interrupted by Hjärnan. No way for Splyce to actually win this fight. They're completely split up. And man, they regret taking these early trades.
And Deficio. G2 are getting everything that they want here in this early game. They're getting that fast early game. Splyce are trying desperately to go toe-to-toe with them, and it may have put them down and out. Odoamne now forced to use that ult to disengage. Splyce are not out yet, but a 2K gold lead 15 minutes in is a nice thing for G2 to have.
Oh yeah.
Herald yet to be utilized as well, so G2 are set up to extend it to 3K if they can use it at an appropriate time. Well, actually, they might not even need the Herald. They're just going to break that tower.
And we have to remember, Hjärnan versus Kobbe right now is heavily Hjärnan favored. It's the mage on 1 item. Luden's Echo is here. Like, his damage we've seen whenever he gets onto any squishy target is pretty insane. Meanwhile, now Splyce are trying on top side to do something. They have 2 members on the way. It's 4 versus 2 right now. No TP from G2 to match.
Jankos staying, trying to clear the wave. kaSing tanking as much as he can. Xerxe says, not the right call. We're going to back off. And they retreat. Powered recall for Jankos makes it easy for him to get out of there. And G2 for now control the mid lane. Just going to use the pressure, though, to look for a little bit more vision as Nisqy checks the brush.
Now it is important to mention, kaSing is on the Tahm Kench this time. It's not Wadid sitting in mid lane with the Heimerdinger saying, okay, if you want to do something in top lane, we go up with Tahm Kench ulti. No, it is a bit slower. You have to walk all the way as the Alistar, so it's a little bit easier for Splyce in that case. But 2 fights heavily in G2's favor, and the 1v1 kill bot lane for Hjärnan. What a turnaround for this play after losing that game at the red buff. Game 3 went in favor of Splyce because of the Jhin move. And then you turn around by playing Heimerdinger twice.
I think if you tell G2 you're going to give them 1 step backwards and 2 steps forwards, I think they'll take that exchange. Xerxe now running forward. He's going to get ultied up here. Tahm Kench on the way in, trying to buy as much time as he can on the side of Perkz, but they know that he's dead. He is getting picked off here in the end. Well played by Splyce.
Yeah, and we just talked about how it's important that it's kaSing on the Tahm Kench, so you're the one doing this instead of Wadid. Mid lane, the turret will go down now. It's 4 members of G2 around it, plus the Rift Herald. But Splyce get a kill top. Can they also trade for turret? Jhin takes quite some time when it comes to killing a turret, and we might see 2 drop in the mid lane.
Herald is there, Jankos
they
is
can
there,
dive
Wunder is there, Nisqy, as you mentioned, threatening to get dived. Wadid is looking for that Tahm Kench. They want to get it started. Odoamne trying to bully him off. It's not going to happen. Wadid's still waiting in the brush. Going to knock him back and punch him into the team. He can't save himself. He's going to get knocked back almost immediately. Will they use the ulti for it on the Urgot? Yeah!
Oh, yeah.
And it's just so clean on the side of G2. Splyce do manage to get the top lane tower, but the gold lead just remains 3,500 for G2.
2 turrets in the mid lane just dropped with that Rift Herald. Splyce invested 3 players top lane to get that kill onto Perkz. Had no one left to defend mid. Super action-packed. First 17 minutes here. Tons of kills, mainly in favor of G2. QSS is ready for Nisqy now, so he's not going to be the obvious target for Perkz. But he's the only one who can get out of it. The other 4 members, they're going to die.
He's also in the awkward spot that the disdain from Urgot, the knockback, the throw behind him, as well as the Alistar combo can't be interrupted. We actually saw him in the previous fight have the QSS and use it. It just didn't do anything. And here, G2, I mean, you saw this exact same thing in the river, right? Where you just cannot take the greedy path.
And it looks very good when Urgot gets the kill with his ulti.
The most tilting thing is when you're the guy who gets Urgot ultied and you get the chains across your screen. I kind of want them to do it for more ultimates in the game, but I also don't because it tilts me more than anything on the face of the planet.
So it works. 4-0 for Wunder. Remember that game he played Sion? No, I don't remember it either.
No one's going to remember it after this series, but they will remember this Urgot game.
And I think Splyce, like I respect the fact they're trying to match the early game, but the problem was they tried to play towards their weak side, which was the Sion top lane, and they tried to match G2 when G2 had already moved up there and G2 had all the vision control. So it kept putting Splyce in really tough situations to fight near this top lane and really backfired for them. They're just checking now, ulti.
Flashing, gonna get that ulti down, immediately gonna focus on the jungler. Do not want to give Skarner a chance to use that ultimate. They're
Turn around.
back right off. They can try to turn this Odoamne coming from the side. That's a beautiful engage. They've got their eyes set on one. Silence goes down on the Odoamne. It's gonna make sure that no one else from G2 is gonna drop yet. But here comes Ryze. Here comes the rest of Splyce. They're desperate to get something. Can they take down Nisqy? He's alive for now. Ticking down Malefic Visions. It's not enough. Splyce turning it right there.
Great fight from Splyce here. This time they react again to G2 and they get a bunch of kills. Perkz flashed in right there to start the whole thing. Meanwhile, bot lane, Turret will take some damage, but there's a TP from Odoamne to stop it. Very important here that Splyce managed to get some gold back in this game.
Further we go, Splyce now holding on, not giving up anything else. 3K, a deficit they can come back from, not willing to give up anything else.
We've now seen 2 ultis from kaSing top lane that ended up being really good for his team. First one gave a kill plus a turret, second one turns around the fight, sets up a bunch of kills for Splyce. Look at this, it's flashing from Perkz, starts the whole thing. They think that it's an easy kill, but now with the flash back, plus kaSing shows up with his AD carry, and Odoamne smacks in from the side. Perfect flank. You get a bunch of kills with the Sion ult, or sorry, with the Ryze ult as well, but Wunder got some damage top or bot lane, and Splyce, they're trying to just hold on right now. 2 items on Kobbe, he will get stronger and stronger and stronger. Playing Heimerdinger on teamfights is not easy. You rely so much on that one empowered ability with your ulti, and your turrets effectively will do nothing in the big late game team fights.
And the strength of rapid fire cannon on an AD carry is just incredible. One of the strongest items in the game, no doubt, and extending your range. You landing that first auto uncontested and taking half of someone's health in the late game can instantly decide a team fight if you're not careful.
We're also still sitting in a situation where there's no QSS on G2, so Xerxe can always suppress the target. It's not the same obviously with the Ryze on the other side. There's no flash. They are around mid lane. This game has been non-stop action. Why not just continue it? Top lane as well. Heimerdinger's pushing. Here we go. Tower dive.
Locked up, forcing the ultimate out. Eyes set on Perkz. Is going to use the ultimate as much as he can. You just can't get in range to do it. Xerxe getting turned on, but kaSing saving the day. Taking him out. Odoamne now on the retreat. Wunder wants to go in. Not going to connect on the slow, though. That's crucial. Hjärnan Wadid will get the tower on the top side, though.
Xerxe thought he had everything under control. He knew, I'm not going for the Olaf who's ulting right now. But he didn't actually think about Perkz ulting him under that turret, buying time, but wanted to show up as well, and they didn't get a kill. In the end, it's them trying to get away from the fight. Meanwhile, top lane turret did go down, as you highlighted, with the Heimerdinger. Engage-wise, if you are Splyce, like your way to start the fight is really just Xerxe flashing in. Otherwise, what you have is like more of a split push setup with the Ryze plus Tahm Kench holding mid. And that's pretty rough when I think about it against Malzahar plus Heimerdinger. You have to reach them in a late game teamfight, and you don't have a lot of tools.
You do not. You're really hoping on that Sion to find a way into the backline.
Or the Ryze ulti.
But if you think about how these teamfights could play out, if Splyce are the ones trying to force the engage, it's so easy for Wadid and Wunder to kind of disrupt a lot of what is going on there. Urgot, an incredible threat into the tankier frontliners. It's going to be tough for Skarner to pass through. Wunder now, feeling a little aggressive, is going to move towards the bottom side. Now Skarner can move down, but Olaf is on the way as well.
There's nowhere to go.
He's trying to find a way out with the ulti. He knows it's coming up shortly. Wunder holding on to this thing, wants to make sure he flips him the right way, pulls him back. They're going to set maybe Sion. The ultimate coming down on the bottom side from Perkz. It is going to interrupt Xerxe for now, but he's not worried about using his ultimate quite yet. And Kobbe cleans up the kill. Wunder now running for his life. They do manage to get one back on the top side as Ryze has been taken down, but that's the double kill. Wunder now setting them up for the triple. Kobbe is hungry for blood. The rapid fire cannon. One auto, one empowered, not going to be quite enough. Wunder with no
he gets
mana.
it.
Has a flash. Snare, not going to connect.
Wunder gets out right here. Meanwhile, top lane, as you highlighted, Nisqy died in that 2v1, so that's G2 pushing for another turret. But man, I thought Odoamne was done, bot lane. But once again, kaSing with ulti shows up, and the rest of Splyce, they get a bunch of kills in return. They trade for this turret down here. We continue the trend of just fighting everywhere. 2 lanes at once. We can never just fight in one lane in this game. It has to be both bot and top lane.
And Deficio so much about these series. It's been at the bottom side of the map right now. Kobbe versus Hjärnan. They're not fighting each other, but they are fighting the opposite team. putting themselves in a bit of a difficult position here. Gold lead slowly starting to shrink on the side of G2. They got map pressure advantage with all the towers they've taken down, but they're trading evenly with Splyce.
Let's see it again. Looks like Odoamne's getting caught up, because if you look at the minimap, Jankos is coming, Perkz is coming. It's like, okay, Odoamne, where are you going to go? Like, you can try and ult back, but then Wunder will just stand in front of you. But because, again, the Tahm Kench ult comes down, and Nisqy actually tried to TP in behind him, but he got stunned by Hjärnan top lane, or by the Alistar, and that's why he ends up looking kind of foolish, dying in a 1v2. But that's because he was TPing, and he did not expect the G2 bottom lane to show up. Yeah, so now your TP is on cooldown, and you're dead.
G2 finding themselves in a bit of a difficult position where the Malzahar Urgot are not quite enough damage to cut through a tank. They really want Hjärnan there as well. Good news is he does have Magic Pen coming through as the Void Staff is completed.
But that's where last game, what we did see was they moved around the map with the Heimerdinger, and they just put their empowered turret in front of any structure Splyce had on the map, and they just kept like poking down, and eventually they took every outer turret. Splyce couldn't really respond. This game it's a lot closer in gold, and this game I feel like on Splyce's side they're not as scared of the rotations, because again there's no Tahm Kench, there's no Ryze ulti either. It's a lot slower. G2 have to walk from lane to lane to do it, so there's more ways to defend if you are Splyce.
There absolutely is. Of course, G2 are, or could rather, look to threaten the Baron. They have the Malzahar and the Heimerdinger, two champions who are quite excellent at taking it, but Kobbe getting closer and closer to that 3-item point for the Jhin.
Yep, and that's a big one for him. I am so happy this last game is, you know, back and forth trading non-stop. Both teams really looking to be aggressive. Baron is being started now. It's dropping very quick with the Heimerdinger.
Towers are going to keep the Baron aggro, though, for now. If G2 want to start it up again, they're just backing off. Wunder showing his hand a little bit when he uses the Disdain, or rather the Purge.
Remember, the engage from Splyce is mainly that flash ult from Xerxe or Odoamne's ult himself.
Perkz playing with fire there, does get the silence down on two members, buys a bit of time, but Splyce have priority access to the mid lane. Nice! Kobbe, they want to take him down! Tahm Kench just saved the day. They're looking to reset the fight. They've now pulled Perkz back to the team. The ulti has been canceled. Perkz is deleted immediately. The Urgot, though, getting the fear. If they take out the tank here, it will turn the fight in their favor. Kobbe doing what he can to disengage. Wadid has been picked up, has been taken out. Odoamne is buying enough time. Is the stun enough? Hjärnan goes golden. The tower connects. It's such a close fight. The zombie is there. The curtain call. This is the end for G2. Jankos gets taken down. Wunder next on the list, but the damage from the Urgot is enough to try to turn it. Two shots pulling back, both sides backing off, neither one with a greater advantage, but Splyce winning the fight.
Man, what a fight! It all started with Splyce pushing down the mid lane, and G2 find this sick engage from Wadid. Look at the start here. They see Jhin standing and trying to hit the turret. Kobbe, he thinks he's safe because he's far away from the fight, but he taxis onto the minion, flash Q, gets the AD carry, forces the devour. Notice Xerxe, however, gets onto Perkz with the flash. Perkz cannot ult. I'll keep the ulti going, and now it's a 1-for-1 trade. Odoamne gets out, and G2 have lost their mid laner, while the two carries, Kobbe and Nisqy, are still full HP until this point. So much damage from their side, and they get Hjärnan in the hourglass into then a great ulti setup. Oh man, that ult from Xerxe was so key to stop Malzahar ulti. And then Kobbe and Nisqy just stayed alive the entire fight.
I mean, the fight, when Odoamne made it out and landed that knockup, I thought the fight was over, but shout out to Hjärnan for landing clutch skills onto both the carries. What?
That's a misclick. He doesn't love the minion that much, he just wants to keep it alive.
All right, bit of a misclick there from kaSing, kind of deflating things just a little bit, but of course both teams on the precipice. G2 with the gold advantage, but you saw that fight. It does not seem quite as G2 favored as the gold might indicate.
And that last fight was without IH on the Jhin. It's here now. Would have killed the Urgot, obviously, with the last shot. So Kobbe is even stronger for the next fight. G2, they were starting Baron with the Heimerdinger. We saw the damage they could do, but Splyce just pushed mid. They said, you know what, if you're going Baron, we're going mid. We're going to force you to come in here and fight us. And there's no flash on Wadid this time. It's much harder for him to reach the backline, despite the great play from before.
Looking for a little bit more here. Splyce determined to take down this tier 1 tower. G2 not in a position to respond, as Malzahar is responsible for clearing out the side waves. Will go down in the end. Start to even up the gold back in favor of Splyce. We're getting later and later in the game. Odoamne, the focus for now, forces out the Tahm Kench Devour. But as we get later, we get more and more into Splyce territory. The tanky front line they built up for themselves, more and more relevant.
And it's just pure team fighting at this point here. G2 do not have the same 1-3-1 comp as last game. So they have to just try and play around mid and top for the Baron setup. Meanwhile, Splyce, what they do have Nisqy who can split push. But whenever he will go to side lane, Baron is going to get started by G2 and he's forced to return and fight them. So it's just 5 versus 5. Whoever wins the big one into a Baron most likely runs away with the game and will then face Sjokz tomorrow. Until that happens, however, it is dead even between the teams. Kobbe, however, he's gotten his items. But Urgot is actually 6-0 right now and he's starting to get a lot of tankiness.
TP coming in.
Or they're checking. Odoamne needs to be the one face checking. They have Devour.
20 seconds before it comes back up. Wadid looking for the cheeky play. Control ward goes in. Perkz find a bit of time. Nisqy pushing on the bottom side. His TP is available. He can come. They can just try to bait it down the side of G2 if they want to play it slow.
Again, remember, Hjärnan can start the Baron with the Heimerdinger. He doesn't need the entire team with him. Look, they're moving in with Perkz as well. They can start it here, force the TP from Nisqy.
2 members. kaSing knows something's up. They need to move forward if they want to watch it. 11k health and dropping. G2 can clear this one out very quickly. 8k and dropping. Hero moment for Xerxe if he can move into the pit to snipe this one out. Do they just take the fight? 5k. The towers are keeping it aggro. 2k and dropping. It's crucial that they get the Baron. They cannot de-aggro it. They have to fight for it. And they get it in the end. The smite from Wunder. Finally coming through the suppression. The fear. The fight for G2 as they cut down Splyce where they stand. Contest our Baron. Not today, say G2.
First, G2 wanted to force the TP, then they saw the TP and realized, wait, we can finish the Baron. Wadid knocked Xerxe away, so he didn't get into the pit. They locked down the objective, and then they take the fight right after. Splyce, they felt okay after the last big team fight. They felt in control. They could win the next one with Jhin on 3 items. But as they rush into that Baron, there are minions and cannons everywhere. And they end up getting picked off one by one. Look at the setup here. They want the TP from Nisqy. Then they can decide, do we want to fight, do we want to back away, or do we want to finish Baron? They have 3 options right here. They decide, because of all the turrets and minions, to finish Baron, knock the Skarner away with the Alistar, so he cannot get in the pit in time, finish the Baron, and then the fight starts right after, and the Sion is too far in. kaSing cannot get in position to devour, and everyone just dies left and right because they went in one by one to try and interrupt it. G2 Esports, they get the Baron. They have the Heimerdinger right now to siege with. And we're still waiting for that next ulti from Perkz against only 2 QSSs on the side of Splyce. So he can go for Skarner, he can go for Jhin. Problem is, of course, kaSing with the Devour right next to him.
And G2 still have to be careful. They have the Baron, absolutely, but they misstep. Kobbe is incredibly strong. 3.5 items. Difficult for them to cut through this front line on G2. Hjärnan is now here. This is the man to keep your eyes on. The towers being set up. The slow siege being set up. No splitting. Grouping is 5 here for G2. They're ready to take the fight. Odoamne gonna look for the knock-up. Not gonna have enough time to channel. Buying a bit more time. Tower does drop. Keeping it going thus far.
We'll secure the first inhib. That's okay if you're Splyce. You can lose 1 inhib here with this Baron. You must be able to stall the rest. Top lane is fine. That is just a massive wave pushing for you. Mid lane is where you're defending next. But as we mentioned before, especially with Heimerdinger, the siege is really scary. Because he can constantly threaten the grenades, and if he actually lands 1 grenade onto you and you get stunned right there, you might just instantly get bursted down.
And I just want to confirm, I had something checked, we're going to hold that thought. Fight starts to break out, a lot of damage does go down. Wunder now knocking through.
So many minions and voidlings, everything. G2 gets another one. They're just brute forcing their way into the base.
Another one broken down, and Splyce, they have to be insanely confident to go over this fight, because if Urgot makes his way into the back line, things are going to be disastrous, and you cannot engage on Hjärnan. You can't engage on the Heimerdinger.
Exactly, that's again the thing. They don't have easy engage. It's just really the flash ult from Xerxe, and that could happen obviously onto Hjärnan if they're looking for something, but they ideally want the fight away from their base, where there's more ways to get in with Sion as well. Huge Baron play from G2 into now. 2 inhibs gone. Great spot for him to be in. Heimerdinger is still strong in the following fights. Kobbe has really been slowed down after he got 3 items. He then lost the following fight, and now he's not getting ahead of Hjärnan. And it's actually really interesting how after the first 3 games, we were all saying this is the Perkz show on G2. He's the only one who's trying to carry. Now, that's not the case anymore. The Heimerdinger has been so huge for Hjärnan to be a strong carry on this side. And Wunder back, of course, getting his Urgot, not a Sion top lane.
And I want to make one thing clear for anyone watching. When that Baron went down to 400 health, the smite that won the day was the Spellbook Urgot. He took smite, and he himself secured the Baron for his team. That is a unique play for sure, but a definitively confident one from G2 and from Wunder to secure that one.
Now Splyce is still trying to stall here. They will need a fight, because G2 will try and siege for another one And we know with the Heimerdinger and super minions coming in from bottom side, they're going to get that third inhib. You have to try and fight them before that. You have Ryze ulti to get into the backline. You have flash engage from Xerxe onto things like a Heimerdinger without QSS.
Realm Warp coming through.
Oh, it's on the Urgot instead.
Going through, they are going to channel the ulti, but immediately the Odoamne is just going to get cut through. They're trying to buy a little bit more time, but Wadid is cutting through the backline. Odoamne will go zombie form. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. Perkz still untouched in the fight. Wadid will get taken down. Rather, Wunder will get taken down in the exchange. Kobbe on 4 items. Maybe he can fire back. Wadid tries to get it, but he fumbles the engage. Messes up in the end on the headbutt pulverize, and may just go down here. No, Nisqy cannot connect. G2 will grab another inhibitor, but the fight going back and forth.
Yeah, look at this super minions right now, getting down one Nexus turret. Nisqy so low.
Nisqy on the retreat. Hjärnan and Perkz barreling down. It's PvE right now. Their eyes focused on the prize. They're going to take down Xerxe in the end. Here we go, folks. Game 5, G2, they wanted it. They wanted it bad. The underdog story for Splyce. Not nearly enough for them to find the win in the end. And here in Game 5, a grand showing of confidence from G2 as they move on to face Sjokz in the final round.
And what a best of 5. So many stories within the 5 games itself. We end the last game with a 7-0-9 Heimerdinger in the bottom lane. Big turnaround from Hjärnan. And that last fight, Splyce had to do it. They had to try and go for it, but they end up ulting the Urgot. He never dies. He's so tanky. And this last game had so many fights, so much action. Way more than I thought. Splyce were trying to match the early game of G2.
And I want you to look back, if you're watching this, look back after Game 2, after Game 3. Ask yourself what you thought of G2 then versus what you think of them now. After every member of this G2 lineup showing up and performing in the final game, everyone getting their time in the spotlight for what was a Perkz show for the first few games.
Very, very true, but a team performance in the last 2 games that they ended up winning. They stepped away from split push in the last one and said, it's all about team fighting now. Splyce said, yo, you know what? It's all about team fighting. We are ready for this one. What a series, 5 full games, and now if you're G2, you're not done. Tomorrow, you'll play against Sjokz, same time, and you have so little time to prepare for that.
I tell you one thing you can't prepare as a Heimerdinger fan. 33,000 damage in that game. The next closest was Kobbe at 24,000. Stunning how much work that Heimerdinger did.
And let's remember, this was a team that lost 6 games in a row coming into the series. Got 3-0 by Misfits, who lost to Splyce in the first round. And then they managed to go all the way to 5 and win the last game. But also credit to Splyce, man. Like winning yesterday, going straight in today, playing another 5 games. Like it is super tough. I think they showed a lot here in the Gauntlet run. But sadly for the team and the organization, they cannot advance to the 3rd round.
No, a difficult road for them, most certainly, and it felt like they improved game to game, but they're in the clutch. G2 showed up as individuals so often, and then in the final 2 games, they really showed up as a team. I think a big surprise for us after watching the first 3 games at least. Of course, if you guys want to participate, if you guys want to get involved, you can vote for your player of the series on Twitter. At LL Esports is the place. Perkz, Hjärnan, Jankos are your options. It's like there's not enough room on the poll to put all 5 players on there, or we would, people. I'm telling you, we would.
It's actually a very tough call. After a couple of games, you go Perkz, right? But after the last 2 games, I mean, you don't have to now actually lock in Perkz as your player of the series because of the Heimerdinger doing so much for these guys.
Absolutely. Well, for more on that win, Medic is standing by with G2's mid laner, Perkz.
Thank you very much, Drakos. I am joined by Perkz. Congratulations on the win, of course. Just one best of 5 between you and a spot at Worlds once again. I want to focus a little bit on the sort of dynamics of this series here. Game 1, you lost to Splyce. Coming out of that game, how did you change your mentality to get into Game 2 and start winning?
Okay, so I think the both games we lost because we had both weaker early game and weaker late game. So we end up like we cannot win early game and we get outscaled as well. So I really think like we majorly lost because of drought. Sure, if we are a really good team, like if we are Koreans or something or LPL, we can probably win with those droughts as well. But the droughts are really hard on us and made it harder for us to play. So after we adapted and picked a stronger early game jungler, the games seemed to go like really smoothly. Even the last game was like a stomp. Besides me inting, like I was running it down the whole game. I just couldn't stop. You know, that's one of those games where you just play and you're like, keep playing and you keep running it down, and you're like, guys, just carry me, please, and, and that's how we won.
I think you put G2 on your back enough times for them to have to carry you once. So it's sort of an acceptable balance. I want to come back to that point about draft, though, because if you win against Sjokz tomorrow, you're going to be going to the world stage. You're going to be facing those big Korean, Chinese, North American teams. How, as a team, are you going to adapt coming into that stage when you've already made mistakes in draft here?
Well, I think that our practice has been going really well recently, and today I expected us actually to 3-0 them. That's really
Didn't really work out.
That's
that
really
way.
cocky, but we almost lost. But I'm very confident that if we go to Worlds, that in the Korean bootcamp, even though we play planes, it kind of sucks, but it's also like a good thing. Like Fnatic, you know, last year, you know, you get to warm up in planes and you get to like play against these teams on stage and you get to like practice your mental stage and like mental state on stage. So I'm kind of excited. Like this is my first time in the Gauntlet, right? So it's just so exciting, and I love it. You know, I love to play on stage. So I want to win tomorrow.
A lot of adrenaline going through. Let's talk about tomorrow, though, because you're playing up against Sjokz, who looked good against Fnatic last week in Madrid. Is there a change to your game plan coming in tomorrow, or can you do basically the same things?
Well, Schalke played really well in the final, I think. The problem is that Fnatic was too good. So I don't think they're like easy opponent, but I think we'll win against them. I don't think they have an edge on us in positions, and I think that our team play, especially with snowballing, is like better than theirs. So I just have to like not int in game 5. Hopefully we can win in 3 games. Yeah, I predict 3-0 tomorrow.
Oh, you predicted one today as well, though, so we can say it's going to go all the way to 5 games.
Okay, I don't predict 3-0. I take it back.
Okay. My final question is, you're the last member of G2 that's been standing through these iterations where you won 4 splits in a row, lost to Fnatic last split. How does it feel knowing that a lot of the weight of expectation and a lot of the expectation for G2 is now on your shoulders? If you don't make it to Worlds, people will count this as a disappointing split for G2.
Honestly, this year's been like really tough for me because I've like had to like mature and change so much and like take more responsibility in every scenario. So it's just a lot for me, and I'm happy that I'm like we are still in the run and that we are still like able to make Worlds, because it's been like tough times for us before. So I don't like really put pressure on myself. Like pressure comes from within and not like from what people expect of you or what you like. I've already like I accepted both cases. Like I give my 200% every day to make it to Worlds and like to play there, because I just really enjoy playing against the best in the world. It's like it's not even like winning Worlds or something, because that's like kind of like out of horizon for us this year at least. So it's more like I just enjoy the highest level of like what I'm good at, playing against the other best in the other regions, and that's like what brings me joy. So I want to go to Worlds.
Right, it's a good thing you're in EU then if you want to play against the best in the world. Congratulations on the win today, Perkz. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good luck in the series against Schalke. Guys, back over to you.